Hey everybody, I'm here to speak to you about the grading results for week 1, and I graded all of the discussion questions. So I decided what I'm going to do is go over the rubric with you so that you understand what you're supposed to be doing. I also put comments in the grading rubric when I graded. So when you go into your account and look at your grade, you can go into that and you can read my comments on what specifically to your posts could be improved upon, or what you did well upon, or what you did well with. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy everything that you posted, your responses to your fellow students, your responses to me, and your responses to the questions, or your posts to the questions. The one thing I will say is that this is meant to be a discussion exercise. So when you're doing this, make sure that you're replying to your fellow students, not just to me. Again, if we were in a physical classroom, I would ask a question of you, you would answer the question. Somebody else would say, oh yeah, I agree with that, or no, I don't agree with that. So that's what this is meant to be, since we're not in a physical classroom, to foster discussion amongst yourselves about the topic that we're discussing. Okay, so again, what I do is I take and copy all of those posts that you posted for the week, and I put them into a Word document. And I look at the word count for each one to make sure that each of your posts should be at least 100 words. So every post should be 100 words, at least, or more. I'm not going to limit you to that. And that your comments are appropriate, that they're thoughtful, they're reflective of the subject that we're talking about, and you're respectful to other students. So that's the first thing I look at. So if you're not posting the full amount of posts for the week, the 4 separate posts on 3 separate days, you're not going to be able to get full credit for that, because it's not fair to the other students who are actually doing the work of posting the number of posts that they're supposed to post on the number of days that they're supposed to post. So you will lose credit in this section on quality of post for that as well. The relevance to your topic. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to look at how you responded to the questions. Did you thoroughly answer the question? If I responded to your post to redirect you to information in the textbook to completely answer the question, did you respond to my post, and did you get the answer correct? Or did you provide the information that the answer was looking for? So make sure that you're checking your posts on a regular basis so that you can see if I've replied to your post and have redirected you to the textbook in a certain area to find the information you need to complete the answer correctly. Then, the other thing is make sure that you're answering both questions for the week, because you always have 2 questions every week for your discussion. There were a few people who didn't answer both questions, so you lost points for that as well. Now, the contribution to discussion. What I'm looking for here is how many posts did you post? Were they, number one, they have to be substantive. I can't even say the word. They have to have some substance to it. It can't just be, oh, thank you for your reply, great job. That's not a post. You need to tell the person why you agree or disagree with their post, and thank you, and then just go into tell them why you agree or disagree, basically. And if you do that, you're going to get your 100 words. So, did you post 4 separate posts on 3 separate days? If you did exactly 4 separate posts on 3 separate days, you can earn up to 19 points. If you posted, say, 4 separate posts on 2 separate days, you're going to lose some points, so you're going to probably be in the good. Depending on the number of days that you posted, you may be in the fair to poor. If you only posted 1 or 2 posts, you're going to be down here in the fair to poor area. If you posted above 4 separate posts on 3 separate days, so say you posted 5 or 6 separate posts on 3 separate days, you're going to be up here in the excellent area of the grade of 25 points. Now the mechanics of the post, what I'm looking for here is, do you understand APA? Did you provide a reference? And just so you know, the DeVore reference that they provide in the classroom is just an example of how to do a reference. It's not the reference of our textbook. At minimum, you should be referencing and citing our textbook, because that's where you're gaining the information. And just for those who don't know, a citation identifies the fact that you're utilizing somebody else's information to make your point. Their information, their writing, the research. So whenever you're utilizing somebody else's work, you have to cite where you obtain that information from. So with that, you have to have a corresponding reference. And what that does is it tells your reader that you are utilizing, the citation tells your reader that you're utilizing someone else's information. And then the reference down below tells your reader that if they want more information on that subject, they can go to that resource, and it lists, you know, who the authors are, what the title of the book is, what the publisher's name is, where it was published, what year it was published. If it's from a website, it will list the web address. There are different ways of doing that. Again, if you don't understand APA, make sure that you go into the program resources. There are plenty of resources there. Look at that. And then also the spelling and grammar. We had some we had a lot of problems with spelling and grammar this week. So what I suggest to do is that you go to program resources. In fact, let me go there right now and show you where these things are. So if you go up here to program resources in the classroom, you will see APA resources right here. If you click on that tab, there are all kinds of resources right here that you can view. Then, if you go back to program resources, down below I have tutorial videos. I have an APA video on how to format your paper for your week 1 written assignment. Then also how to submit to the OWL, but for the discussion, how to write your discussion in Word. And basically what you can do is you can write your discussion in Word, perform a spelling grammar check, and then once you have completed that check and made the changes that you need to make, and you're good with your post, then copy it from the Word document and paste it into your discussion. And this video shows you how to do that. It's going to save you a lot of deduction of points, unnecessary loss of points in your discussion if you do it this way. Okay, so let's go back to, okay, so that's pretty much how I do the discussions. And then I put my comments in the feedback to the user, and then I submit your grade, and that's it. So if you follow that, then you should be able to get through the discussion with a decent grade, or if not a 100. It's really not that hard. Then the other thing I wanted to show you was for the written assignment. Hold on a second. Okay, so for the written assignment, you should have already started on your week 1 writing assignment. You should have your rough draft pretty much done. And it was supposed to have been submitted to the online writing lab by last Sunday. If you haven't done that, you need to get that submitted to the OWL so that they can review it, make the recommended changes that they need to make. Once you've submitted it to the OWL, they will review it. Then they will, or first of all, they'll send you a confirmation email saying that we received your submission, we are going to review your paper. They will review it, make their recommended changes, then they will send the paper and your submission form back to you via email. When you receive that, please forward it to me. I just posted an announcement about that. I only have 2 or 3 that the students have sent me, so I need to have those to be able to grade, and you'll see why in just a second. Um, then you also need to look at the recommended changes and incorporate them into your final draft before you submit it for grading. Now the way I'm going to grade that is I'm going to look at, did you have at least 250 words in your composition? If not, then we will go down in points. Did you address the 5-step problem-solving process? And so to get a proficient student included, apply to all 5 steps to the chosen problem, identified the problem, gathered information, create alternatives, choose an alternative and take action, and evaluate and revise as needed. So I'm going to look for all 5 of those. If you didn't completely address each one, then we'll go down in points. And then grammar, as spelling and grammar, same thing. I'm going to go through and I'm going to look for spelling and grammar errors. So make sure you're doing a spelling and grammar check. There's really no reason to have any errors, especially when writing in Word, because you have the spelling grammar check. Now, the spelling grammar check does not catch everything, and it also catches a few things that it doesn't recognize completely. So make sure that you're reading what it's suggesting and see if it makes sense. If it makes sense, go ahead and adjust it. If not, then ignore and move on. But it will teach you how to write as well. And then proof of OWL submission. This is where the email that you send me, I'm going to look at it. Okay, I'm going to see that you submitted it and give you points for that. But then also I'm going to look at, did you read the recommended changes and did you incorporate them into your final draft? If you didn't, why did we do this exercise? So you'll lose points for that. But if you've done all those things, you'll get 5 points and we'll go from there. Alright, so if you have any questions about that, before I go, I'll go back to the Blackboard. Alright, so some of you have said that you don't have OWL in your organizations when you hit the home page. If you're hitting this home page, you probably don't see it. But if you go to Home up here in the right hand corner and then scroll down, you'll see My Organizations. And within that block, there should be Kaiser Writes 19 SA is what you're looking for. If you don't see it there, what you can do is go over to Organizational Search, do Kaiser Writes, and then you see it right here. So click on this, KULSA, 19SA, and then where you see it says Enroll, click on Enroll. And then it tells you, who will, whatever, you don't even need to know that. Then hit Submit, and now you're enrolled. So it'll enroll you in there, and you can submit your papers to the Kaiser Online Writing Lab. Most of you should already be enrolled, and it should be in your organizations. It's just a matter of going to the right area. Like I said, click the Home button in the right hand corner, then scroll down to My Organizations, and now you see, now that I've enrolled, it says Kaiser Writes Online Writing Lab 19SA. Alright, you guys have a great day, and if you have any questions, please give me a call or email. Thanks.